Okay, for this project, you're gonna need a pencil, eraser, a Sharpie, and some either watercolors or washable markers. So the first thing I'm gonna do, this is gonna be a silhouette. So I'm gonna go ahead and do dolphins. In order to draw my dolphins, I'm gonna start with kind of an oval shape. I'm gonna do a bigger dolphin right here. So I'm gonna start with this oval shape. I'm just gonna sketch that in. And then I'm gonna come down back here and kind of more of a point for the tail and come around. And then I'm gonna put his little tail fin. Okay, and then I'm gonna come back up here, and they kind of almost have a square forehead here that comes down into their little pointy nose. Dolphins can be kind of hard to draw. And then he's gonna kind of come straight back and then down, and we'll kind of curve up like that. See if that'll work. Right behind his nose back here, he has this little bottom fin that kind of helps him steer. And then up here, they have the fin that you see above the water. That's kind of their signature fin. So there's my mother dolphin. Now I'm gonna draw the baby dolphin, and I'm gonna draw a little baby dolphin right here. So again, I'm gonna start with that oval. I'll come down and I'm gonna make him swimming up just to give some contrast to that mom swimming down. And here's his little bottom fin, and he kind of has that squared off. He's gonna come down into his little tail fin here and his little dolphin fin there. And I feel like this maybe needs to go up there. Okay, so there's my baby dolphin. Now what I need to do for this silhouette is I need to add some background. So I'm just gonna add a wavy line. It's gonna start up here, kind of go down, and then come back up over here. I'm almost framing the bottom. And then I'm gonna make some coral, some seaweed, and I'm just lightly drawing this in with my pencil. I'm gonna color this all in black. So even if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter, because once you color it in black, you can come back and erase any of the pencil lines that you don't like. So I'm going ahead and I'm just adding a big piece of coral here, and I don't know, maybe I'll just add kind of a funny shape here for some kind of coral, and maybe just some shell shapes or something on the bottom of the ocean. And then I think over here, I'll just make kind of some grass that looks like seaweed. And again, I'm kind of coming up and framing my dolphins. All right, so now I've got some interesting things going on here. If I wanted to, I could add a little fish. I think I'm just gonna leave mine just like this. And now I'm going to take my black Sharpie and I'm going to outline everything, and then I'm gonna color it in with the Sharpie. So this is gonna take a while. I'm going to come back and show you when I have this done, and we will start on the colored background. Now the reason I'm making these white, before I go away, I want to tell you, this is a silhouette. And what a silhouette means is that the light is actually behind my object. So the light would be behind my little dolphins, and so there's no light shining on the front of them, which is why I don't see the front of them. That's why they'll be black. There's no light shining this way. I'm pretending the light's coming from behind them. So there'll be color around them, but I won't actually see any detail. And this happens a lot, like in a sunset or a sunrise. Anything in front of it turns into a black silhouette because the light is behind, like the trees or whatever it is that's in front, the buildings, whatever's in front of the sunset will be black because the light is actually behind. All right, so I will come back in just a minute when I have this all done. I'm gonna finish my black lines, I'm gonna erase my pencil, color it in, and then I'll show you how to do the background. All right, so now I have my dolphins and my background all colored in black. I've got my silhouette. Now I'm gonna try to get my background all done with color. I'm going to use washable Crayola markers, and then I'm gonna paint water over them. You don't have to paint water over them. You can just color in with marker. You can color in with crayon. You can color in with colored pencil, whatever you have that works for you. I just like the effect that this gives. It gives kind of a watercolor effect. But if you have watercolor paints, that's another option. You could use watercolor paint. It's really whatever you want to do. And if you don't have a Sharpie for the black, you could use whatever black you have. The reason I use Sharpie is because I'm going to use water, and the Sharpie won't bleed when I use the water. But if you're going to use just colored pencil or crayon, you could use black crayon, black colored pencil, just regular black marker, really whatever you have to make this silhouette artwork. All right, I'm gonna do a couple more colors, and then I'm gonna start with my paint, and you will see this really cool effect. I like this effect too because you don't have to color in the whole thing. Once I put the water on it, it's going to kind of make the color bleed around into the paper, and it just looks really pretty. All right, I will come back in just a minute when I'm done with this. Actually, I'll just speed up. I'll let y'all watch me do this, and I'll speed it up. All right, now I'm ready to add my water. So I'm just gonna take my brush and I'm gonna lightly go over this. I'm not gonna go over it too much. I'm just gonna very lightly just kind of dab this water on and smooth it a little bit. If I go over it too much, it's gonna get really muddy. The colors will kind of blend together too much and it'll turn brown and muddy. So I'm just gonna very, very quickly go over, and I'm just gonna kind of let the water and the color kind of absorb into that paper and kind of do its own thing. It's a really cool effect, but it is a fast process. Don't overwork it. Now, if you're doing this with regular watercolor, same thing with regular watercolor. You wanna use a lot of water. You want to work really fast, and you just want that watercolor to spread out and kind of do its own thing and be fresh and bright. You don't want to overwork it. All right, once I'm done with this, I'm going to let it dry, and I will show you a final shot of my finished artwork. The other thing is, I chose to do dolphins because I love dolphins. But you could do a sea turtle. If any of you have been in the guided drawing classes with me learning to draw sea turtles, you could do a sea turtle or two on here. You could do a seahorse, you could do fish, you could do a shark. You don't have to do dolphins. You could do any sea creature and then kind of do the silhouette behind them. Do them as a silhouette and the water behind them. All right, pretty cool. I'm gonna let that dry, and then I will come back and show you the finished project. All right, so here's my finished dolphin silhouette. You can see how the marker kind of splashed out, kind of absorbed out into the paper and made a really cool effect for the color behind the silhouettes. So put your creative hat on and see what you can come up with, and have fun with your ocean silhouette.